Okay, call this meeting to order. This will be an open meeting and notice has been given to the public at least 24 hours prior to the meetings and by forwarding the complete agenda to the Oconto County Reporter and all other news media who have requested the same. Copies of the complete agenda were available for inspection at the office of the city administrator. 6 p.m. meeting of the committee of the whole, following agenda. Meeting called to order. Roll call.
Mayor Chris Martin,
Here.
Gerald Anderson.
Here.
Keith Donlevy is excused. Bob LaBrec.
Here.
Riley Soul.
Here.
Lori Stenstrup. Here. Dan Zeller.
Here.
Attorney Calvert.
Okay, moving on to number 3. Approval of agenda as stands.
I'll second.
Dan second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to approve of the current agenda. Moving on to number 4. Approval of minutes from 10/8/24 meeting. Any corrections? Okay.
I'll second.
Do I have a second? Lori did, or did you?
Sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to approve minutes from the 10/8/24 meeting. Public input? This is where it should be.
Of course not.
Public input for the second time? Public input for the third time? Okay. No public input, we'll move on to correspondence. Alderperson Don Levy sent Brittany and I an email on Monday. And here's the topic she was concerned about or questioning. The tear down of the laundromat and empty building next to it on Main Street and putting up a new structure. That is put on hold indefinitely at this point. The empty car lot on Smith Ave across the road from the old Augustine Motors. She said she remembered John Panetti read a letter from the person who purchased the property stating they were going to open a car dealership. We have no jurisdiction over that because that's outside the city limits by Dorn Ave. So, the property on Highway 22 for the potential landscaping business, that is for sale. He was asking $1 million for it. I don't know where we would scare up $1 million to buy that property for development. And on top of that, I think, Jeremy, isn't there wetlands in there too?
There's wetlands in the west end of the property.
Yeah, okay.
There's actually a natural creek that runs through that you won't be able to fill.
Right.
It drains the western half of Mott Street between Mott and 22.
Okay. Number 4 was negotiations with the city of Oconto Falls for the sharing of our building inspector salary. Frank is working on the contract. So once we get that, we'll meet with Oconto Falls and hopefully finalize that. Then number 5, negotiations regarding the golf course property. Now that we have our evaluation, we can start to put together a contract if it's feasible financial-wise. So that was the 5 things she wanted some response on. Any other correspondence? Third time, any other correspondence? If not, we'll move on to number 7. Discussion, action, recommendation on the following old unfinished business. Excuse me, there's none. Number 8, discussion, action, recommendation on the following new business. Department head report, police report.
We are trying something new at the police department for our monthly report. As you can see, it's a little different than what we used to have. We're just trying to make it a little more fun to look at and putting more of the pertinent information on there. The total incidents for the month were 440. And there's kind of a graph that shows you how from summer, when more towards winter, it slows down, obviously. And it just breaks down traffic citations, ordinance, parking, accidents, and arrests we had. Arrests is 16, that's good for the month. So far, year to date, we are at 5,163 calls. And it shows 2023 as a comparison. For the community events, we had homecoming. The biggest problem we always have is the toilet papering, and somebody on Superior Ave gets very upset. So I try to fix that and having the kids go and pick it up where the people are upset the next day. Now we had our trick or treating for the hot dogs, which was a great thing. And our newest hire, Officer Luke Macher, he came from the Coosa Police Department and previously worked at Grand Chute. He started on the 28th. He's a really nice guy. And so far is proving to be a very good officer. I didn't get to share this with you guys last time, but Sergeant Shear and Falco attended the 2024 Wisconsin Law Enforcement Canine Handler Association Conference, very long title, in Fond du Lac, October 6th through the 9th. And he just picked me up a little something, and I asked him to do this because they performed very well. So I just want to share with you how well it was. So he said, roughly 170 canine teams from across the state of Wisconsin attended the conference, which consists of scenario-based training at 14 different sites around the city. The scenarios consist of narcotic searches, tactical canine deployments, apprehension exercises, medical treatment classes, and a narcotics search challenge. The conference is also attended by numerous volunteer veterinarians who provide free eye and dental exams for the canine teams. So the narcotics challenge is a timed event where each canine team must locate as many unknown drug finds as possible in 3 minutes, all while being presented with numerous distractions. Falco and Sergeant Shear tied for first place in the narcotics challenge, but lost the tiebreaker and were awarded second place overall out of 170 teams. That's amazing. He's doing very well in that canine program, and I'm very proud of both of them. Not only with the work that they do out on the streets, but also the visiting of the schools that they do with, at the elementary school in particular, with having kids see what they do together and pet Falco and do all those things. So they're doing very well, and I want to share that.
Questions for Chief Dufek? Thank you, Chief Dufek. Moving on to 8A2, fire report.
First of all, I apologize for everyone. It's been a long time since they've been making a meeting. As always, though, the notes are always there. And if there's ever any questions, please feel free to reach out. So I don't want to go off kilter too much. I know I talk a little longer than some like, Frank. But just to try to summarize it, keep it real short. You can see there was 97 calls total for the month of October, 1,153 for the year. We are currently 86 ahead of last year. You can see the breakdown of the monthly trainings. Unfortunately, I draw on a blank right now as to the reason why we canceled that first night. Again, we are on track with what needs to be accomplished, both fire and EMS as far as training goes. Some of the highlights along the bottom, I think they go without saying, but we have some that attended and have successfully completed some NWTC courses. We have the radios, we received that, we're getting some installed in-house. And you can see the breakdown of what was needed for the all-call responses, which totaled last month for 13 total calls. So if there's ever any questions, please don't ever hesitate to ask, and I'm always available by telephone.
Any questions for Chief Boston? Thank you, Chief. Moving on to 8A3, Park and Rec report. Jeremy?
All the parks have been winterized by the crew. Currently they're going to City Park, campground, and working on debris pickup in those areas. In a few weeks they'll start helping us with tree removal in the campground, and then also at City Park and Shark Park. Also, ocean surveys, if you've seen the large board up by the docks, or not the docks, but the harbor, they are ocean surveys out of, Connecticut are doing sediment sampling in the federal water. So the federal channel, here out by us, and then out by Pensaki and Little Swamp. So they just finished our sediment sampling today, and then they're moving over to Swamico, but they're gonna be they're gonna be docked in O'Connell, and then moving daily to those areas until they're complete. So that's it for Park and Rec.
Thank you, Jeremy. Moving on to 8A4, utility report.
I think Dale had a question.
Oh, Daryl's got a question.
The movie screen is still gonna be covered?
Yeah, they were, they've got the tarp up, they're just letting it dry out, but they are gonna get that up. And that should be up either tomorrow or Thursday, but yeah, they are aware of it.
Okay. Utility report, Jeremy. Right. Sorry.
Last month, we got 165 meters in. We have appointments through the 20th of November. And then we pretty much take it off the winter from putting them in, just because it needs to get in the homes and tracking snow and getting into them. And if we have to shut the water off at the curb, if it's all frozen, we have an issue, it could flood basement or whatever. Our newest hire, Trevor, has installed probably 90% of them, while Joe and I work on other things. He's doing a great job. He's really come a long way from day one to now on doing it. Our wastewater treatment plant upgrade, pre-construction meeting is Tuesday morning. Everything points to them starting right after Thanksgiving. And they'll be working through the winter and hopefully done sometime in June. Other than that, I don't have much else.
Any questions for Matt? Okay, thank you, Matt. Moving on to 8A5, Public Works, Jeremy.
I'll go through my pay request first. I gave everybody pay request number 3. That'll be on next Tuesday's agenda. So I just kind of want to walk you through that. I won't be here next Tuesday. So you can see on that front page, again, your original contract sum of $762,408.50, and total completed starting date is $592,701.85. 5% retainage of $19,060.21, making the current payment due of $287,288. If you turn to page 3, which is the public works portion of the project, if you look towards the middle of work completed and under this request, that kind of shows you what's getting paid under pay request number 3. You've got excavation and grading of $6,102. That's the completion of that. The curb inlets, five curb inlets at a total of $25,500. 5,736 linear feet of curb and gutter at $81,738. 6-inch concrete aprons, driveways, 327.86 square yards for a total of $21,966.62. 8-inch concrete apron, that would be the 8-inch concrete apron going into high season marina, and obviously that's thicker because of the weight going in and out of there. Total of $3,089.69. 6-inch concrete sidewalk, that's the 2 landing pads on both ends of County Y and Spies to start the bicycle pedestrian trail, 196 square feet for $1,666. Your asphalt lower course, that's just a portion of it, so 700 ton for $70,000. Tack coat, which goes between the 2 layers of asphalt, one sum of $1,150. And then your finish course, a portion of that for $50,500. 2-inch asphalt trail, 100 ton, $19,565. And then landscaping, just a portion of the landscaping for $10,000 for $91,277.31. So just a quick update on the project. We finished with the final layer late tonight. And basically what we left after that now is just our landscaping, a little bit of work to do around our, and we should see that complete within the next week and a half. Any questions on that? No?
Who did we get to do the asphalt work?
That was by Northeast Asphalt. And they were the contractor for KCG, so that would have been their contractor.
Any other questions for Jeremy? Okay, if not, we'll move on to 8A6, building inspection report.
Joe could not be here because of sports, but he did hand out, in his October report. So you can see the permits, 30 permits in October, for a total permit cost of $4,319.82. Year to date, since he's been back, $8,605.45, 88.
Joe asked me today to just bring up to the council, again, since he couldn't be here. Obviously, he's catching up on stuff around the city and he can't do everything all at once. He said one of the things that he wanted to bring up that he was going to be looking to tackle in the near future, there are quite a few homes, sheds, garages, etc. around town which do not have siding on them, are just wrapped in Tyvek and have been that way apparently for a while. A lot of those he doesn't know if there's building permits out there or not, or they're not things he's got from Duff, etc. But he needs to, what his plan is, and that's what he wanted everybody to know, is he's gonna send a letter out to all of those, just asking about the status, the time frame, to touch base with him, just to get things back and rolling on those. But he wanted you to know that so that when these letters go out, if you're getting calls or something, you know what's going on. So his expectation, he said, is just that they'll need to get in, get a building permit, because a lot of them probably have expired, and then some kind of time frame like this. So again, that's another one of his checklists as he tries to catch up on.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 8A7, administrator report.
The 2024 board of review is this Thursday, November 14th. At that point, the assessments will be final, which means we can finish the 2025 budget. The November 5th election went extremely well. We had 2,347 total voters, which is incredible. We have around 2,400 registered voters, so that's a really good turnout. 923 of these voters were absentee voters, so that means they either had mail ballots or they voted in person. There was 262 election day registers, which is a lot. And the referendum question, the vote was 1,101 for yes, 1,036 for no. So it did pass, so we will need to increase the budget to accommodate those cost increase. Alderperson will be elected in the upcoming April 2025 election. Bob and Randy are both up for re-election. Hope you both run again, because you're doing an excellent job. But if you don't, please make sure you submit your non-candidacy form to me by December 27th. I put it on your calendars. The past 2 years, we missed that deadline, and it does create a lot of work for myself and for the county. So if you're not running, please fill that out. But I hope you do that. That's all I have.
Any questions for Brittany? Moving on to 8A8, tourism report. Riley?
So we're looking at the veteran flags. Obviously, they're up for Veterans Day. They'll be coming down for the holidays, but the main point I wanted to make is that we did intend on doing sponsorships for families who couldn't afford the $100 fee to get a banner. And after seeing some of the numbers from what's come in so far, we're able to offer 3 sponsorships right now. So I just wanted to get the word out that if you know anyone who would like a banner, who just isn't able to come up with that fee we're setting aside from, because it's like $87, $86 to make a banner, and we charge 100. So we take those extra $13 per banner, and we roll it into a fund to go towards sponsorships we can afford. So we're up to 3 right now, that we can offer.
On the banner,
On
we did put a letter out, I put a letter out, Brittany posted it yesterday, when the banners will be coming down, and the holiday ones going up. And Jeremy has agreed that we can continue the program, so if anybody wants to share that letter and so forth, other veterans, I will be contacting Carl and John also. Go ahead.
I think on a side note on that, so the banners that are up right now, I think it's around 40, maybe somewhere around there. And then there's the box that you dropped off. So there's obviously more banners than there is helpful. So just to keep that in mind that in the future, you have to decide which ones are going up, which ones are coming down, or possibly doing a two-sided banner where you've got a picture, one picture on one side and a different military person on the opposite side.
In that
Because
letter,
it's gonna be tough to determine which banners go up and when you take them down, and what's time consuming to put those banners up. So I don't want my guys to be every couple of weeks where they're constantly rotating banners up there because someone's banner's not up.
in that letter, we did state that if any family wanted their banners, when we take them down, to contact me, and we'll make sure we set them aside. Go ahead.
Yeah, so moving on, if there's nothing else on the veteran flags. I did mention last time, we're gonna be doing a city event calendar that's gonna be going out as a mailer to all the residents. And Sammy from the Chamber of Commerce is gonna be taking charge of figuring out the list of which events are gonna make the list. If there's any businesses or anything that has an event that wants to get on that calendar, she's the person to talk to. But we are offering 6 sponsorship slots for advertising on that mailer that's going out to everyone. They're going to be $500 a piece for any business that wants to advertise on that mailer that's going to be going out to over 3,000 households. Does the money from those 6 sponsorships will more than cover the cost of the mailer. So it's just wanted to start to promote those 6 sponsorships. The visitor center kiosk, I know Jack was gonna be with the Parks Department, I know there's a little bit of a slowdown with figuring out the final location, I don't know if you guys, or we can get some updates on what Jack had.
We didn't talk anything about location, we talked more with the electrical and like they were looking at the solar now and as far as location, I was assuming that was all kind of set.
Okay.
Talked about it all.
It is kind of set to be along that pedestrian walkway outside of the playground area, so it'll be out there. That's the last that I had heard. That was John, I think John met Jack out there.
And it sounds like you're probably not gonna get to the concrete this winter, that's gonna have to be till spring, so. But still moving forward on that. And then finally, it looks like we're moving towards a river floaters sign for kayakers and floaters who want to get put in on McDonald Street by the highway overpass. And then there will be a list of businesses along the river that they can stop in, and then an estimated float time of how long generally it takes to get to those, to just kind of help promote tourism and give people a better idea of what stops there are to make one. So they're gonna work with the farm badges through the Chamber of Commerce on pretty little,
Jeremy, would we have to get permission from the DNR to have something in there? Okay.
Where exactly? Like underneath the,
we're put in by the bridge there, yeah.
yeah, so you should have to go through Brandon at the, County Highway Department, because that's their jurisdiction, and they would get the okay from the Wisconsin DOT. So anything that would be put up in that DOT right away would have to need approval from them. So I can't make that approval, that would go through Brandon at the Highway Department, and then he'd let you know what to see from there. That's something you'd help with.
That's all I got.
Okay, moving on to 8A9, technology report.
Not much to report there. We are, Camera Corner came in and looked at our setup here, looked at the microphones, and our screen and our camera. And they're putting together two proposals for us. They're kind of thinking maybe either a microphone in the ceiling or a microphone on the sides of the camera. So we're waiting for them to get us that report, and then we'll have another technology meeting and hopefully get some microphones in here.
Okay. Any questions on that? If not, we'll move on to 9, adjournment. A motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Been waiting for you.
You guys want to stay here?
It's you and Joe Watt.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn carried. Thank you.
Hi, John.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, in the end, you.
All right.